He thought it was just heartburn. Late dinner, spicy food, bit of stress, nothing new. But that night, around 2 in the morning, his wife heard a thud, a sound like someone dropping a heavy book on the floor. She found him on the bathroom tiles, curled, pale, breathing hard. 1 week later, on stage 4 cancer. No warning, no big signs, just heartburn. That's how it starts. Not with drama, not with alarms and ahs, with little things, a strange taste in the mouth, a cough that won't go, a spot on the skin you think was always there. That's the devilry of it. Cancer doesn't kick the door in, it knocks, softly, silently, repeatedly. And most people, they don't open. They turn the volume up. They tell themselves stories. It's age. It's nerves. It'll pass. But it doesn't. You see, cancer isn't just a disease. It's a thief. And it steals the one thing you can't buy back. Time. Time with your grandkids. Time at the table. Time on your feet. In the sun. In the world. And here's what should chill your spine. By the time it hurts, it's already deep. By the time you feel sick, really sick, it's been growing for months, sometimes years. You ever notice how people always say, he was so healthy, and then out of nowhere? It's not out of nowhere. It was there. Only no one looked. Let me tell you something that gives doctors nightmares. A man comes in, 63 years old. He's tired all the time, lost a bit of weight, can't keep food down sometimes, thinks it's the flu or stress. They run tests, blood, scans, everything. And then comes the silence. Doctor puts the paper down, looks up, voice steady. It's cancer. We caught it late. Late. That one word, it's stafuri. It's the difference between living and watching life leave you in slow motion. But here's the twist. It doesn't have to be that way, because the body whispers before it screams. It warns you, and if you know how to listen, really listen, you can catch it early. You can turn a death sentence into a detour, but you need to know the signs. Not the ones in textbooks, the real ones, the weird ones, the small ones, the ones people laugh off at first. That's what we're talking about today, because cancer begins like this, and once you know it, you'll never unknow it. His name is Leon, 71, retired mechanic, lived in Ohio his whole life. Hands like old leather, voice like gravel and coffee. One of those guys who never complains. Not even when he should. You know the type. Built his own garage from the ground up, worked 6 days a week for 40 years, wore the same boots until the soles gave out, loved fishing, coffee at 6 a.m., bacon with too much salt, didn't trust doctors. They'll always find something wrong with you, he used to say. Better not to know. That was his philosophy, until the cough started. Nothing scary, just a dry tickle in the back of the throat. Came and went, especially after eating. Sometimes he'd clear it 10, 12 times in an hour. His wife, Doris, noticed. "You sound like a car with a loose belt," she joked. Leon laughed. "Probably allergies." It wasn't. Then came the weight loss. Subtle at first, belt notches, a little sag in the face, pants started fitting loose. Still, no panic. He just figured, guess I'm finally burning off the beer belly. Then the fatigue rolled in. That was harder to ignore. He'd fall asleep mid-conversation, lost the energy to mow the lawn, stopped fixing things around the house. Leon, who once rebuilt a carburetor with one hand while eating a sandwich. Doris nudged him, again and again. Go get it checked. He didn't. Until one afternoon in the garage, he leaned down to pick up a wrench and nearly blacked out. That scared him. Not the faintness, the weakness, the way his body just gave up. That night, for the first time in years, he said, "Maybe I'll see a doctor." Blood tests, scans, endoscopy, they found it in the esophagus, advanced, spread to nearby nodes, maybe further. The room went quiet. Doris squeezed his hand. Leon didn't speak, just stared at the ceiling like it was playing an old film he'd seen before. You know what he said later? Not, "Why me?" Not, "I'm scared." He said, "I feel stupid. I should have known. I knew something was off." Because deep down he did. The cough, the tiredness, the weight. His body wasn't whispering anymore. It was shouting. But like so many of us, he didn't want to hear it. Here's the twist in Leon's story. He fought chemo, radiation, surgery. He changed his diet, stopped the bacon, started walking, started reading, started living differently. And even though it was tough, God, it was tough, he made it to remission. He's 74 now, still coughing sometimes, still tired on rainy days, but alive, laughing, still calling Doris his boss. And now he tells every man he knows, don't wait for pain, listen when your body whispers, I almost didn't. And that's why we're here, because you might be Leon, or married to Leon, or raised by a Leon. And what saved him wasn't luck, it was attention, because the body always sends signals. The question is, let's break this down. Cancer doesn't just appear overnight, like lightning from a clear sky. It's more like rust, slow, creeping, silent. Imagine your body as a city. Every cell is a building, organized, neat. Everyone knows their job. Now imagine one of those buildings goes rogue. It stops listening to the rules, starts expanding, growing when it shouldn't, spreading like weeds through a garden. That's cancer. It's a cell that forgets how to die, a rebel that refuses to stop multiplying. And you know what fuels it? Silence, time, neglect. See, your immune system is like a police force. It's constantly scanning, patrolling, catching mistakes before they spread. But cancer is tricky. It learns how to hide. It wraps itself in silence, disguises itself as just a cough, or just a little bloating, or just stress. And because it's slow, your body adjusts. You feel tired. You blame age. You lose weight. You think, maybe I'm just eating less. You feel off, but not sick. That's the trap. Now here's the science of why early symptoms are so strange. Cancer doesn't start by damaging the organ. It starts by disrupting function. Imagine a piano. If one key is off, the song still plays. You might not even notice. But over time, more keys go. The tune gets weird, dissonant. That's your body on early cancer. The voice gets hoarse. Not painful, just different. You feel full quicker. You start burping more. The bathroom schedule changes, minor things, but stack them together and they tell a story. Because cancer is not just about pain, it's about patterns. And the earlier you spot them, the more power you have. Here's another example, pancreatic cancer. One of the deadliest. Why? Because the pancreas is tucked deep inside. No nerves around it. It can grow silently for months. But it does give signs. A yellowish tint in the eyes, itchy skin, floating stools, back pain that feels like it wraps around the body. Sounds random? It's not. It's a code. And if you learn to read it, you can save your own life. Even your gut, the one you call your second brain, often knows first. You feel anxious for no reason, sleep badly, digest differently. That's your nervous system reacting to inflammation. Long before tumors show up on scans, your nerves, your hormones, your immune cells already know something's off. They ring the bell. But most of us, we turn the volume down. Take a pill. Drink some tea. Walk it off. Meanwhile, the rogue cell grows stronger, builds its army, and by the time we react, we're fighting uphill. But here's the hope. You don't need to be a doctor to catch it early. You just need to know what's not normal for you. That's the secret. Not comparing yourself to others, not waiting for someone else to notice, just being honest. Hey, I've never felt this before. Why am I losing weight? Why do I feel full after 3 bites? Ask those questions, out loud, relentlessly. Because your body isn't the enemy, it's your best friend, your most loyal ally, and it always, always sends a signal before the storm. You just have to hear it. 1. The disappearing appetite. Mark was 66, slim guy, played tennis every Saturday, retired school principal. He was proud of his health, never smoked, rarely drank, always ordered the salad, but one fall, something changed. He started skipping breakfast, felt off in the mornings. Lunch didn't tempt him either. Even his favorite chicken soup? Meh. He joked, "Guess I'm just shrinking with age." But his wife noticed something worse. He was shrinking. Fast. Over a month, he lost 10 pounds without trying. Here's what's dangerous about that. When the body stops asking for food, it's not because it's satisfied, it's because something inside is stealing the energy. Cancer cells are greedy. They devour nutrients at warp speed. Even when you're not eating much, especially cancers of the stomach, pancreas, or colon. So here's the rule. If your appetite suddenly changes for more than 2 weeks, talk to someone. Don't brush it off. Track your weight. Write it down. A drop of more than 5% in a month is a big red flag. Mark finally got checked. Stage 2 stomach cancer, early, treatable. He's back on the court now, and he finishes all his meals. 2. The just a cough. Lie. Elaine was 73, sang in the church choir, laughed with her whole body, the kind of woman who always had a mint in her purse and a story in her eyes. Then she got this cough. Dry, nagging. Worse at night. Thought it was allergies, maybe the air conditioning. But it stuck around. Week after week it became her background music. She coughed while reading, while watching TV, while praying. No fever, no cold, just a cough that refused to leave. That's when her son stepped in, took her to the clinic. The scans showed a mass in her right lung, small, early, but it was lung cancer. Elaine never smoked a day in her life. You know what's wild? 1 in 5 lung cancer cases happen to non-smokers. And in women, especially postmenopausal, it often hides behind just a cough. If a cough lasts more than 3 weeks, especially if it's dry or comes with hoarseness or shortness of breath, it's not just anything. It's a signal. Respect it. Elaine had surgery, then radiation, lost her hair, but never her joy. She still sings in church, a little softer now, but with more life than ever. 3. The bathroom clue. Everyone ignores. You want to know one of the weirdest early signs of colon cancer? Poop that looks different. Nobody likes to talk about it. But listen, your stool tells stories. Richard, 68, former truck driver, ate big, lived big, laughed loud. But one day he noticed his routine had changed. Used to be regular. Suddenly he was going 3, 4 times a day, and still felt not done. Then came the shape. Thinner, almost like a pencil. Embarrassed, he kept it to himself, until one day he saw blood. That's when he got scared. Colon cancer, early stage, still local. A close call. Doctors told him, no, if you'd waited 6 more months, it would have been a very different conversation. So here's the tip no one gives you. Look in the bowl. If your stool changes shape, size, frequency, consistently, pay attention. Blood, mucus, cramping, these are clues, not just annoyances. It's your body asking you to look deeper. Richard did, and he's alive because of it. So remember, these aren't just health tips. They're survival stories. Don't ignore your plate. Don't ignore your cough. Don't ignore the bathroom, because cancer whispers first. And the people who listen, they live. Take a breath. Seriously. Right now, in and out. Feel that? That's life. Still here, still yours. Maybe this episode stirred something in you. Maybe you thought of someone. Or maybe you saw a little of yourself. A cough you've been ignoring. A strange fatigue. A quiet voice inside saying, something's not right. Good. That means you're listening. See, this isn't about fear. It's about power. Because when you know what to look for, when you stop brushing things off, stop apologizing for being cautious, you take back control. You stop being a passenger in your own story. And look, we've all made mistakes. We've all said it's probably nothing. We've all skipped checkups, downplayed symptoms, put everyone else first. But here's what I need you to hear. It's not too late. Not too late to speak up, to ask questions, to book that appointment, to demand answers. Not because you're weak, because you matter. Because the people who love you need you to stick around. Because your story isn't over. We talked about Leon, about Elaine, about Mark and Richard. But what about you? You still have sunsets to see, hands to hold, laughter to share, birthdays to blow out, chairs at the table that only you can fill. Don't let something silent steal that from you. Don't wait for pain. Don't wait for a crisis. Trust your body. Honor the whispers. Protect your time. Because time, real time, isn't in years. It's in mornings, moments, smiles across the room. And if catching one small symptom today means 5 more years with the people you love, that's not paranoia. That's wisdom. So take that wisdom, hold it close, and act. You're not being dramatic, you're being brave. And that, more than anything, can save your life.